It's like already almost dark here. What is it? 4:01.
It's even worse here. It's 2 and it's not even close to dark and I'm already exhausted.
Hmm. Have you just had a long day or?
Um no, I don't know. I was actually really productive yesterday
Oh, good.
and yeah. So, yeah. No, I mean no reason. Just
Hmm.
you know.
Yeah, some days, Tuesdays just last forever. I was just in my last meeting. We're like, what day is it?
Is it the weekend yet?
Is it the weekend yet?
Yeah.
Did we just have a weekend? Yeah, and I was getting all psyched to go out. The Christmas lights in this city are just fantastic. I don't know if it's because I'm downtown in a city, and there's all these old buildings and everybody like, decorates up. Um, and there's one whole park that's called Cathedral Park, and it must be full of like 100 Christmas trees that are all have lights on them, and it's really neat. And so it's about a mile from where I live, so I like to walk down there and kind of walk around and see everybody's taking their pictures with the lights and all that kind of
Do
stuff.
they
So
put the Christmas trees in, or are they already there and they
you
decorate them?
know, I've only been there at night and during Christmas time, so I don't know what it looks like. Oh, somebody's out there.
Wow.
Dawn's teaching her class.
Okay.
So she's on Zoom doing class and I'm on Zoom. I don't have class.
Okay, so that's not Kate.
No,
No.
I'm sorry. It's
Yeah.
a couple friends of ours.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I just thought the person on the left might be Kate.
No, she's one of the women that comes to our class. She invited to come out here and do it because she just wants to be with somebody instead of her bedroom.
Yeah.
And the weather's nice, so she just kind of said, "Hey, you guys come on out." So there might be more, if the weather's nice, there might be more people in our driveway because we got plenty of space outside.
Yeah, why didn't she think of that before? I was thinking about that. Why not just do it outside? I guess you don't have all the equipment and stuff, but
That is true. I mean, if you're doing it in the gym, you don't have you have lots of equipment here. It's very limited. It's mostly body motion that they're doing. I mean, you've seen that there's just two of them. We each have a kettlebell. So there's a kettlebell for the guy and a kettlebell for the woman.
Right.
But if more people showed up, there's not enough. So, and the stuff we have, she took from a corporate gym she worked at called Fred Meyer's.
Right.
So it's not even, some of it's not even ours, but they haven't been open since March.
Right. So what else are they doing with the stuff? Yeah.
No. Yeah.
So our Rosaline is back.
Yay.
Back from the wilds of wherever she was. We've been getting the updates over WhatsApp, so we know all the highs and lows of Rosaline's past couple days.
You're on mute.
You're on mute. Maybe.
That's just more of my day. Oh God, shoot me down.
Did you get your boy back finally, or is he still at?
No, I've got to drive back up to Leeds for him tomorrow.
Okay.
So that's a 7-hour round trip.
Wait, I thought he was coming. I thought that's where you were going.
Yeah. I did too.
So did you? Oh no.
We went up. We went for the weekend to North Yorkshire, right to the middle of nowhere.
Lovely, I'm sure, Rosaline. Yeah.
Yeah, really lovely.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of Yorkshire, really gorgeous. Very eccentric Airbnb guy. It was a restored cow shed. And the guy had been like a collector's item of kind of collecting like old motorbike memorabilia and like racing car memorabilia, but then also advertising from the 50s and 60s.
I know, it's so vintage, the stuff you sent us. Yeah.
So in the bedroom there was like a light box that he'd obviously bought from a closing down chemist, like drugstore, and it was like it said Durex for family planning. So this is like over your four-poster bed, which Durex is, you know what Durex is, right?
No.
Yeah, Durex condoms.
Yeah.
D-U-R-E-X, you
So-
know Durex.
So it had all
Why
those
would
kind
we
of
know
like,
what those
We all
are?
know Durex. Come on.
Oh,
I thought you might not know the brand.
I thought you were
Okay.
saying
No, I
Durex.
think it's just how you're, we would say Durex.
Durex, okay, Durex, okay, Durex.
Yeah, Durex condom.
Anyway, it was really fun, but it was our first long trip with the electric car, and it was a fucking nightmare.
Did you get a
Fucking,
Tesla?
excuse my language, a fucking nightmare.
Did you get a Tesla?
No, my God, we can't afford a Tesla. No, we got a Nissan Leaf. And the problem, I don't know about in the States, but the problem here is that you've got like all the different attachments. So
Yeah.
every brand has a different attachment, right? So then the recharging stations have different nozzles. So you've got at least 4 different nozzles. So you have to, and then each of the service stations are like a bit like petrol stations, a bit like gas stations. They're like different companies. So each company has like its own app. So that means that on Neil's phone, which he's already got like 55 million apps, he's downloaded like 5 more apps. And each of those apps has to have money on them. So, and then each of the apps are supposed to tell you where in the motorway your next like available recharger is. So then Neil has to gauge, the driver has to gauge like, oh, okay, so I've got like 70% left on my battery. So will I keep going past this station that's coming up, or will I go for the one after, but the one after isn't for like 50 more miles? And so it's all this kind of palaver going on. So then when you get to the station,
Vacation, if that's
most gas stations have roofs, right? No roofs on electric car stations. So it was like hailstones and like practically snowing, rain, hailstones. You get out, put the nozzle in, that one doesn't work. The one next to it, there's a guy recharging up, and you know that you can't get back on the road because you probably run out of electricity in the meantime. So of course, normally you'd go into a service station, have a coffee, bring your books, you know, but of course it's COVID. So all the service stations are like not letting people in. You can just get a takeaway coffee. So this happens for every 2 hours you do on a long journey, you have to stop for an hour, 45 minutes.
hour to recharge?
2 hours traveling, 1 hour, 45 minutes rapid charging, but 15 minutes by the time you can find the second station and stop. And so it should take you 3 hours, 15 minutes to get to Yorkshire. It took us 7 hours. 7 hours.
Wow.
And then back down again. And then during the weekend, like we were supposed to go out for a nice dinner, but then there's all the stress of like, oh, how many miles? If we like get to the restaurant, like, will we get back from the restaurant?
Oh
And
my
it's so
God,
dark.
wrestling.
It's so, oh my God. Anyway, long story short, we get called.
This is only the first part of the story.
Yeah. So then we get, I'll quickly get there. Then we get to Leeds yesterday. We planned to have like lunch with Neil's niece, Shona, works at the University of Leeds. So we forget that Leeds is still in tier 3, which means much higher COVID regulations. So she said, oh, I'll get you lunch. And we're like, oh, no, we'll let's go somewhere. And she's like, no, you can't go anywhere. Everything's closed. You can just get takeaway. So she gets a takeaway katsu, and we sit outside on a park bench in 0 degrees.
Very quickly eating your katsu.
Yeah. And then like go pick up Ewan, and we get there and Ewan is covered in sweat with a temperature and throwing up violently into a bucket, like every 5 minutes. And for hours on end. So like I'm consoling him and saying, oh my God, poor baby, come on, let's try and get in the car. Okay, we're not gonna be able to get in the car. And then I realized sitting there and I'm messaging Laurel and Anita at the same time. I'm going, oh shit, actually this could be a COVID symptom. And so then Neil rings Rapid COVID Center and I said, okay, we need to get him tested on the way back home, right? So then Ewan's like, I can't go, I'm too sick, I can't get in the car. So of course,
that's exactly how Ewan sounds too.
Yeah.
Normally, or when he's sick?
Yeah. This is so. Anyway, we because we've now started the ball rolling by announcing to somebody on a phone line that we're coming. We can't uncancel it. They're going to chase us up and say, where are you? So in the end, we say, oh, we'll be back again tomorrow. So anyway,
So
we
that's why
drive
you
all the-
didn't, that's why you didn't take him in the end.
We didn't take him because he was just too ill to get in the
Yeah.
car. Like, he was
Well, and now
covered in-
you guys have to get tested too, right?
So now we've got to get, well, at least we've got to self-isolate until he tests. So I'm going back up for him tomorrow, but I'm taking my old car. So we gave our old car to my brother-in-law. So now I have to we asked him to put us on
you
his
sneeze?
insurance for the sole purpose of this, but he didn't. So he was too busy today to do it. So I had to wait until tomorrow for him to put us up.
Didn't you guys used to have 2 cars, Rosaline, or you got rid of one of your cars?
Well, the big car just broke down, and so we
Oh,
kept
okay.
the small car. And I wanted to keep the small car, but Neil was like, we should give the car to my brother. So we gave the car. So anyway, anyway, I'm driving back up tomorrow, which means that I'm going to try and book another COVID test on the way out of Leeds so
Oh.
that we can find out if he's negative, then we don't have to do all of this.
Yeah.
And if he's positive, we need to self-isolate him in his room, which is okay because the heating has broken down and there are no floors and there's a builder in putting a roof on the conservatory. So, so everybody's going to want to stay in their own rooms anyway.
Sounds like your 2020 is going out with a bang.
Yeah, exactly. I know. We missed you, Rosaline.
Oh my god, that's like an epic saga of
Wow.
Oh my God. Even
Yeah.
even for our family sagas, this one was a family. I just got a text message from my mother going, oh, cheer up, it'll be better tomorrow. And I swear to God, she's not going to be happy with that response that I just sent her.
Are you supposed to, in good British fashion, now go and have a cup of tea because that'll really make it better.
Yeah. She's not even English, and she wrote stiff upper lip. I'm like, what are you talking about? Stiff upper lip.
I'll give you all this.
I'll give her a stiff upper lip if she just. How are you all doing?
Astrid, the tea's fine. You just got to spike it with something when you're in this.
Yeah,
mood.
right. Yeah.
Which Astrid is apparently getting alcohol delivered to her doorstep on a regular basis now.
That was my story the other day, Rosalind.
Really? Oh,
Very
that's
nice
good.
bottle of craft bourbon showed up at my door, hand delivered by the distiller.
Did you intend it to? Did you
No, a
order?
friend of mine did. No, apparently no.
Somebody
Oh,
gave us a
lovely.
present.
Yeah, sent me a
That's nice.
present. It's nice.
I'm still waiting for mine.
Making
Hint,
making
hint,
hot toddy.
Any of you?
Anybody want to hand deliver me some? I actually just went and bought some for Christmas gifts from
Mm.
Milwaukee for my sister. Usually gets a bottle of whiskey from wherever I am around this time of year, and I still have my Wild Roots, which I actually
Yeah.
have out because I got bad news today that the Indonesia bid that I was hoping we would get, we found out we lost this morning. So,
Oh, I'm
So
so
sorry.
so I'm actually having a drink with a friend right after this. I said, I'm getting
Good.
Wild Roots.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That, well, much like tea,
Oh,
that
definitely.
really will make it better.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
The question I have, since you've been in Milwaukee, have you had a Milwaukee's best beer yet?
No, because I'm still on the non-alcoholic beer. You remember how I was on that?
Mm.
Yes, no. So I
Still,
haven't,
yeah.
I don't think Milwaukee's Best has a has a non-alcoholic version.
I don't think Wisconsin would approve of non-alcohol beers.
I found non-alcoholic beer here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I had
From
to go to like the
California.
big,
Yeah.
it's a Canadian one that, have I shown you guys the ones I drink?
No.
Oh, like a Molson.
Nobody's interested, but it's called Partake. It's a Canadian non-alcoholic beer, and
Oh.
there's like a pale and then also a little bit of a darker one, like a golden one.
Hmm.
These are my new, like I literally got here and Googled where I could buy that. So
That's
So-
great. I'm so impressed. that you still
craft
drink-
non-alcoholic beer, 10 calories a can.
Oh,
about
wow.
that? Yeah, I
Hey,
know. There, I've got Rosalie's interest.
There you go. Yeah. If
And
it's so
it-
fast.
And it just feels like a treat at the end of the day. So
Yeah.
I like it.
That's nice.
But tonight we're
But does
going
it
for
taste
this
like
this
beer?
little puppy. It tastes like beer, but you know, I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, home of Budweiser, so I don't know.
Okay.
Tastes like beer to me. Astrid may not taste like beer to you, but
Yeah.
but
No.
it tastes better than a Bud Light for sure. Like it tastes heartier. And they have a stout as well, which I haven't tried.
Oh. Mm.
But
Non-alcoholic stout. Wow. I've never even.
The
Yeah.
wine bottles. That's
Yeah.
almost worth trying just to
just to
what that's
see,
like.
yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
those Canadians,
Mustache.
those Canadians.
Yeah, our mainstream beer is not very, not the best. I remember coming back from Europe and it's like, wow, the beer is so good over here. And that was before microbrews were really around. And then eventually when I moved to Portland, I'm like, wow, there's so much good beer here. Because in Michigan, there was like one brewery for the whole state at the time.
Oh, really? Wow. Mm.
But now I think Milwaukee is more like Portland, where you know
Yeah.
you go into bars and there's all the.
Most cities are now. I mean, Detroit's got tons of breweries. It's just kind of taken off.
Mhm.
I mean, they're just better. Unless it's 100 degrees out, then you know a Coors Light is good because it's basically water.
I'm from a city in Germany, in Cologne, where breweries are so abundant. I remember growing up in the 80s as a teenager, when I was old enough to go into bars, they had to pass a city ordinance making water cheaper than beer. Because
Really? Is it what-
yeah,
is
you
it-
could
beer
get
is
it.
that
You could
cheap?
beer was cheaper than the mineral water in bars in
Mm.
I
Cologne.
remember working with guys from Germany a long time ago, and they talked about vending machines with beer in them.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, really? On the job? It's like, yeah, why not? They just vending machine and just drink right there. I'm like, all right. I don't know if that's still the case, but
Oh yeah, no, and you get like the little, like the little snack shack, like in a park or somewhere, you could buy beer everywhere and just imbibe in public. Yeah. It's Germany who invented beer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Practically the national drink.
well, I was in Belgium, I remember, and so this was a shock to me because I didn't know at the time, but they were like, oh, there's 400 different varieties of beers in Belgium. I'm like, in Belgium? Like, it's a lot of different types of beers.
There's like 200 breweries in my hometown of Cologne.
That's
Oh,
crazy.
wow.
It's like, it's
Wow.
nuts. I mean, sometimes the whole city just reeks of hops.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
It's amazing that they all can stay afloat.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's got to be a lot of consumption per capita.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Mostly at soccer games, our topic from the other day.
Yeah.
There's a lot
They
of-
don't use milk with their cereal. They just pour beer on it.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of public drunkenness. I mean, that was not so pleasant about growing up in Cologne.
Yeah. Yeah.
We were watching a funny thing on TV the other night because there's nothing else to do in the little place in Yorkshire, and it was like what to do with like leftover Christmas food and drink, and apparently it's a thing to pour Baileys on those like Lucky Stars breakfast cereal.
Mhm.
Ew.
Baileys?
Baileys on Lucky Stars. Apparently it's a thing. There you go.
And
And
then
you
eat
just
it like
have to
that, or
eat
do you
it
do
like-
something else with it, like
Yeah, like
make
eat
it in a
like-
cake or something?
Like
Just
you
more
eat
sugar.
Baileys is like milk. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
milk.
Yikes.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's a grown-up thing, but it still sounded quite fun.
New meaning to a smoothie.
And
Ew.
Bailey smoothie.
the other thing is, I don't know about you, brandy butter. People have always had like so much brandy butter left in their fridge because the only thing you can do with it is put it on plum pudding and so people started like suggesting making sandwiches with it, which was quite funny because it was like turkey sandwiches with brandy butter.
Yeah, we don't have those kinds of puddings very often that you'd have in
That
brandy
sounds
butter.
better than the Lucky Charms.
Yeah, that does
that's
sound
true,
better
that's
than
true.
Lucky
Yeah, that
Charms.
does
You
sound
don't,
better.
you don't have brandy butter?
I mean, I know what it is, but we don't have those kinds of, but you would have that on a pudding,
Mhm.
right? Or a,
Yeah, well, I saw Astrid's flamed plum pudding. That was a plum pudding, right, Astrid?
persimmon
Yeah,
pudding.
so technically a steamed
Oh, that was
persimmon
your
pudding.
persimmon
Mhm.
pudding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what we do. We pour alcohol on the plum pudding and set it alight.
Yeah.
And then
No,
you
I
put
think,
the-
in fact,
then
I
you
think
put
I
some
got
butter
the,
on it. Hey,
oh,
Neil.
no. I think I actually found the instructions on Nigella Lawson.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you heat up the alcohol. That was, I was like,
Yes.
oh, I forgot that. Like, yeah,
Yes,
that's
except she
heat
said it in
apple.
a very sexy way. Like you
Oh,
heat
yeah.
up the alcohol till it's hot. She's who used to watch Nigella in Jakarta, Rosaline? Was it Tim that would watch it? We tease him.
Adored Nigella. But every man adores Nigella.
Yeah,
come on.
exactly. Exactly. Okay, well, I'm going to move us on because I need to get to my cocktail
Drinking.
party.
Yeah, priorities, man, priorities.
Kate will understand because she knows. I mean, you all heard the story when I landed in Portland. I was like, emergency, we need to go immediately to the Wild Roots store. It was the first place that we went before we took our luggage home or anything. So she knows.
Well, we'll have to keep that in mind if, next time you visit
Yes.
Yeah.
Portland.
Yes. Yes. One of these days.